Today's the funeral of George Floyd here in Houston, and it's attended by a whole lot of folks, celebrities, and many. It's a private funeral, but present at the funeral is the founder of Black Lives Matter Houston, Ashton Woods. And I tell you what, he was interviewed by MSNBC, and what's important is whenever people with a mission get interviewed, it is important that you are always ready. It's important that you always have your talking points together. It is important that you know your message effectively. Take a look at this interview, and we'll then take it on the other side.
Joining me now, Ashton Woods. Ashton's a longtime community organizer. He's the founder of Black Lives Matter Houston. Ashton, first of all, how do you hope that George Floyd is remembered here today?
So what I'm hoping for right now, after we lay him to rest, because his family deserves this closure so much, is that we are able to hold our elected leaders accountable to make sure that any policies, laws, or ordinances are either abolished or changed. We have to look beyond reforms. We actually have to look at the foundations that are cracked and the framing of buildings that are no longer viable, in the context that we need to look at what is not working, change it, and improve the lives of people, because this is a quality of life issue. Not only is it police brutality, but it's the policies that enable police brutality. It's the policies that affect us with our education, our health care. Let's not forget that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and our group, the black community, is one of the most affected by that. So when we're talking about addressing police brutality, we're also talking about systems of oppression and white supremacy altogether. And so what I'm hoping to see from this after we lay George to rest is that people come together and find out what the actual causes are that led to his death and so many others, because he's the one we saw. How many people have been murdered in the last month and a half that we don't know about, or over the years? So that's where we have to start.
Democrats, as you know, unveiled a sweeping police reform bill on Monday. Here are just a few of the things that the bill calls for. Puts a ban on the use of chokeholds. Also bans those so-called no-knock warrants in federal drug cases. Limits the transfer of military equipment to local law enforcement. Requires training on racial bias and duty to intervene as well. Does this bill go far enough, in your view?
No, because all politics are local. In a lot of cities, including Minneapolis, that action that this officer took on George Floyd by placing his knee on the back of George's neck while the other three stood by and watched, those were already rules on the books. I think that they should pass it on the national level, but if you're going to pass bills like that, fund it with teeth to make sure it's being enforced, because I really do believe that we keep having conversations about calling police the one bad apple, when in fact, if the good police officer is not actually reporting and whistleblowing about the bad apples, they're just as much a part of the problem. The police can't police the police, and I believe that Congress, down to our state legislators and our other elected bodies on the local level, have more power to do just those things and much more. I believe that they could work, but it has to be enforced. And if we don't fund these bills as we're passing them as symbolic gestures, that's all it'll be, is symbolic gestures. We're looking for justice right now, and that has to be real and concrete.
Ashton Woods, Black Lives Matter Houston. Ashton, thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Craig.
If you notice, Ashton was always on point, and the two major issues that he pushed was the criminal and police justice issue, as well as the health justice issue. When it comes to the things that BLM works on, those two are intractable, and he was clear in taking that national spotlight and putting the entire message out in one small package. We all need to learn how that is done. We all need to always, as activists, get that done. I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program. I post several news videos of interest every day. I ask you so kindly to subscribe to my channel, and please leave me some comments. Thank you very much.